Have you ever thought about what's a really funny sound that just reminds you of a very specific time and place? I tend to think about like the sound effects from Super Mario Sunshine, like the hum or yeah, blah 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 blah. I don't know. Super Mario Sunshine has a lot of really great sound effects, but they definitely remind me of a time back when I was a kid. So, anyways, hello everybody. This is that manga dude, and welcome to a good old-fashioned reading log. Today, I'll be talking about all of the amazing manga that I managed to read in the month of January 2025, and there was quite a bit, honestly. I was picking up all the volumes that I did read, and I was like, holy crap, this is actually a lot more than I was expecting, to be completely honest. I forgot that I even read this much. But it's funny, because I don't think I read anything I disliked. I actually really liked everything that I read, so I'm really excited to get into it. Let's get started right now. Alright, so first volume that I read in January of 2025, and what a great way to start it is with a series that just released in English, and that is going to be Ruri Dragon from Masaoki Shindo. This is the highly acclaimed? I don't know if I'd call it acclaimed, but man, it wasn't really popular when it first got announced. This is Ruri Dragon, so yeah, follows the story about this girl here on the front, who is half dragon, or yeah, she basically has like random dragon powers. She's got horns growing out of her head, and it's kind of like a slice of life comedy. It's nothing crazy. I had a good time with it. I thought it was fun. I think I'm going to talk more about this in a kind of a gigantic FVI that I'm going to do for both January and February releases, because I did not release one in January, which is very rare, but does happen every once in a while. So I will probably be talk more about this series in that video. Alright, up next, decided to read the next volume of Sakamoto Days. This is volume 15 from Yuto Suzuki. I love this series. I've talked about it to death on this channel, and it's because it's just a really, really fun action series. Honestly, I love reading it. I love picking up every volume, and I have a great time. The covers are absolutely gorgeous. This one is notwithstanding, looks great, and I'm definitely excited to continue reading this series. Alright, up next, decided to read the next volume of Otaku Vampire's Love Bite from Julieta Suzuki. Yeah, this features a lot of like her butler person, or whatever you want to call her, whatever you want to call him. I don't remember his name, to be honest. But yes, he's kind of annoying. But yeah, I kind of like this. I don't know. I just like how the characters are done. The story is pretty fun and it's very entertaining, just from start to finish. Very great, very solid comedy series for now. It's probably going to become a rom-com at some point. But yeah, I have a great time every time I read a volume, so I can't wait to read volume 3. Alright, coming up next, I decided to read the first volume of Licorice Recoil, or Licorice? I don't know. From Yasunori Bizen and Spider Lily. Yeah, this was pretty fun. Pretty solid first volume, but basically follows a story about like orphaned girls who end up like joining like this team of like kind of like assassins slash mercenaries, and they are two of them. Allegedly, she's supposed to be an outcast, and she gets outcasted to like her division, and now they must team up together to go on missions and stuff. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's a fun time. I think the art's pretty solid. There's some pretty interesting missions that happen within the first volume, so yeah, I'm excited to continue reading this one. Alright, up next, I decided to read the first volume of Vizard from Michihiro Yoshida. This is an older release from ADV, and I think this is the only volume out in English, actually, because I believe that the ADV ended up either breaking up or the series was canceled. But yeah, it's fine. Basically, it follows a story about like these people who can like find these special kind of weapons and trinkets and stuff like that and unleash these powers, and he happens to have one that's like connected to his fist. Yeah, it's convoluted. It's not super great, but the art's decent and the action's pretty fun. But yeah, it's not gonna blow you away. So would I suggest picking this up if you find it? I mean, if you find it for cheap, I'd say check it out. It's kind of fun. Alright, up next, decided to pick up the 8th volume of My Special One from Momoko Koda, and yes, finally, some good old-fashioned good stuff happening in this volume. Hallelujah. The side couple, let's go. Finally, I don't really like the main couple that much. The side couple's so much better. But yeah, great to have another volume, and I'm just so excited to watch their relationship grow. Alright, up next, decided to read Red Riding Hood's Wolf Apprentice Final Testament to the Moon Volume 2 from Sayaka Mogi. And yeah, this was an absolutely gorgeous release. Such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful art across the board. And a lot of fun. Basically, it follows a story about these like wolf people who are kind of living like alone, and one of them is like the son of like the leader, and he's kind of seen as like the weaker of the two, and eventually he ends up running away in order to prove himself, and then gets caught by by these hunters, who are like the people who like are trying to kill and like massacre these races or whatever, massacre these like wolf people. But some stuff happens, and I won't say exactly what it is, but this volume 2 definitely goes into that situation. So it was a really great time, and I'm definitely excited to pick up the next volume whenever we get in English. Alright, up next, decided to pick up the 6th volume of My Girlfriend's Child from Mamoru Oaoi. Man, what a crazy volume. This series is so hard to read sometimes, and because it's so visceral, it feels so real, the characters are so raw, but you feel so many beautiful, tender moments throughout it. Like, it's so nuanced, it's well thought out, extremely thought-provoking, and I love it so much. I mean, it's such a remarkable piece of fiction. Honestly, if you haven't read it at this point, you really should. It is very, very good, and this volume, notwithstanding, another fantastic volume. Alright, up next, decided to pick up the 17th volume of Chainsaw Man and read it, and this is from Tatsuki Fujimoto, and yep, I think it's fun to get back to the action that I expect from Chainsaw Man, because, man, this part 2 has been, in my opinion, very boring, so I'm glad that there's been some action picking up in this newest volume. Yeah, it's pretty okay. I mean, if you don't know what Chainsaw Man at this point, you must be living under a rock, because it's like one of the most popular shonen series right now. I'm not like the biggest fan of it. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but yeah, I could definitely see the appeal to an extent for this series. Alright, up next, for contender of my read of the year already, we'll see if that holds up, but I bet you it will be somewhere in my top 20. That is Seaside Beta from Ohuton, and wow, this was really, really flippin' cool. Basically, it follows a story about these people who are kind of studying, like, a alternate universe or an alternate world. Exactly how that is, or what it is to be determined as you read throughout it, but there's a hell of a lot of mystery. There's kind of an interesting coming-of-age story as well, with some wild and wacky sci-fi elements, some great characters, some beautiful writing, some absolutely gorgeous art, with like a lot of like very poetic moments too. I mean, this was such a cool read. I loved it a lot. I think it was fantastic from start to finish, and it's from a really cool indie publisher, Glacier Bay Books. If you don't know their work, or if you don't know what they've been publishing, you really should check out their stuff. They have a lot of great manga that they're releasing. A lot of like interesting indie manga, smaller manga, smaller artists that are not like your big shonen series. So definitely give Glacier Bay a shot, and definitely give Seaside Beta a shot. It's fantastic. Alright, up next, decided to read Manhole Volume 2 from Tetsuya Tsutsui, and man, this series continues to be really creepy. I would flip through it, but it's got some really nasty stuff that's going on in this volume. Just be ready if you're not a big fan, if you have trypophobia, which is like the fear of like, kind of like holes or like, and it's like clusters of things. Don't read this because it will gross you the heck out. It's really nasty, but it's a pretty interesting, like, kind of murder mystery thriller series about this like virus that's kind of spreading around, which is supposed to basically lock your emotions in a way, so you become the like allegedly the perfect person. So it's about the police trying to figure out what is going on and how to stop this virus from being spread. So it's pretty interesting, and I really like the second volume. So excited to continue reading this one. Alright, up next, decided to read the next 2 volumes of Kimi ni Todoke that I have, which is volumes 13 and 14 from Karuho Shina. And oh man, Kimi ni Todoke is so good. I really should have read this years ago, but here we are, you know, for a first time read. It's been lovely. I love these characters so much. Sawako and Kazehaya are just, oh man, they're so great. I really like them, and obviously I like our side characters as well. They're so wonderful. Oh, Chizu, why? Oh, the struggle is real, but I love these characters. It's been a really fantastic read so far, and I can't wait to continue reading it. Alright, up next, decided to read Thunder 3, Volume 2 from Yuki Ikeda, which a lot of people have been saying is basically just like a surname or a AKA for what's-his-face, the guy who creates Gantz. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah, this has been a really fun and goofy, ridiculous read, and another great volume of this very interesting action series. All right, up next, I decided to read the manga biographies Charles M. Schultz, the creator of Snoopy and Peanuts, and yeah, this was a really fun read. Very informative. That's the word. It was a really great time. I had a really fun time reading this. It was just very enjoyable. I really wish that they would tell you that the artist is Yuzuru Kuki, at least somewhere that's not in just the back of the book. I wish it was somewhere on the cover because the art is great, and it's a great telling of Charles Schultz's life. Very interesting to kind of see the history of Peanuts and how Snoopy and Peanuts came to be. I can't wait for the next one, honestly, the next manga biographies, because this was a lot of fun, and just I really like learning stuff. So this was a fun read. Alright, up next, decided to finish off Delicious in Dungeon. This is volumes 12 through 14. That is the last volume there with volume 14. And what a remarkable series. Wow. I mean, it was just so very good. I think it's, I totally understand the hype. Might be one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. Kind of hard to deny it. It's just really well done. The world building is fantastic. The characters are awesome and very easy to root for, extremely complex as well, especially with being only 14 volumes. You learn so much about these characters and leave a lot up to interpretation, which is totally great. I think that's a fun way to like kind of create your headcanons and stuff like that, and kind of try to build out the story for yourself, because like the story tells you a lot about these characters, and you can kind of try to imagine what their lives were before, during, and after the series. So yeah, to say that Delicious in Dungeon was one of the best series I read last year would be an understatement. It was on my list for a reason, and I had a great time with it. Very good ending as well. Alright, up next, I decided to pick up this is X-Men the Manga Remaster. This is the Giant Volume 1, which features art from these 6 different artists. And yeah, it was kind of fun and just entertaining to read, just seeing the different art styles and stuff like that. Following the story of the X-Men, who are a very, 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 very famous superhero group, if you did not know. I would argue more famous than the Avengers at many, many different points, and maybe even to this day. I think more people know what the X-Men are, even before the Avengers movies and stuff like that. So, yeah, it just tells a story about the various characters and their, like, triumphs and defeats and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. I don't know, I had a great time with it, so excited to pick up the next one. Alright, up next, decided to pick up the next and read the next volume of Spy Family. This is volume 13 from Tatsuya Endo. Yeah, it's just more Spy Family stuff. I wouldn't say the story is really going anywhere, because the story really never goes anywhere. But yeah, I enjoyed this volume, and I'm definitely excited to read the next one. Alright, up next, decided to read the first volume of Tokyo Alien Bros from Keigo Shinzo. I will be talking about this one in that big FBI as well, but just to say right now, as a TLDR, I did very much enjoy it. I thought it was a great time. Alright, up next, decided to read the 11th volume of Dark Gathering from Kenichi Kondo, and yep, this continues to be a really fun, dark horror series, and it's very entertaining. It's just, I won't say it's necessarily a great time, but it is a very entertaining time. A lot of great moments, a lot of spooky moments as well, and yeah, excited to read the next volume. Up next, decided to read the next volume of Otonari Complex from Saku Nonomura. This is volume 2, and yeah, man, their relationship is just so interesting, and I'm kind of curious if they are going to actually develop a relationship, or if the series is going to end before that happens, which I think would be kind of interesting, not gonna lie, or if they decide to pursue their relationship in a different way, just continue to be friends. We will see, but I like the first volume. The second volume is also very, very good. Alright, up next, I decided to read Shirahime Seo. This is from Clamp. This is a short story collection that tells the various stories about kind of like this like spooky, this kind of like mystical mountain, or mythical mountain in a way. The various people who walked on this mountain and have suffered various things because of it. It's pretty interesting. There's a wide theme about snow and being in like the cold and alone and stuff like that, but the art is really, really good. Some of the best Clamp art I think I've ever seen, and just a really, really good read. If you've never checked this out before and you like Clamp, you really need to check this out. It is really good. And yeah, I just happen to have the hardcover. I believe there's also a softcover series for this one as well. But yeah, if you can get your hands on it, definitely check this out. It's great. Alright, up next, decided to read the 4th volume of Magi Lumiere, Magical Girls Incorporated from Seka Iwata and Yu Aoki. Really fun Magical Girls series. I've been having a great time with it. Another very good volume with some fantastic art and just some very entertaining little moments as well. Up next, decided to read the 2nd volume of Steel of the Celestial Shadows from Daruma Matsuda, and this is me just taking my sweet, sweet, sweet time to pick up this volume because, yeah, this first volume was fantastic, and, yeah, I just did not pick up the 2nd volume, but I like the addition of the new character. She's really cool. I'm kind of interested to see like what more of like this, like kind of like the sci-fi or like supernatural elements that they, not sci-fi, sorry, the supernatural elements that they continue to have throughout the series, and how much they're gonna play as an effect later. Because yeah, this is really, really fun. It's kind of just a historical fantasy series with some supernatural elements, and it is a great time. So excited to read the next volume. Alright, up next, decided to read Call Me Can't Communicate Volume 32 from Tomohito Oda, and what can I say? It's Call Me. Thank you. Alright, up next, decided to read the 13th volume of Witch Hat Atelier, because of course I did. Of course I did. As soon as I picked it up, I read it. It was remarkable, fantastic, beautiful. Wow-wee! I love Witch Hat Atelier. I love the series so much. It deserves all the love it gets, and man, there's some really just strong moments that happened within this volume that got me shaken up, and I'm like, come on, I need the 14th volume. Like, now this series is so good, and for good reason. I'm super excited for that anime as well. Alright, up next, decided to read the 3rd volume of March Comes In Like a Lion from Chika Umino. And yeah, this was a pretty interesting volume. It's kind of interesting to see that the main character doesn't always win, especially for like a kind of like a sports series. I say this is like a sports series because it's more of like a drama, human drama with sports elements. Because there's the main character plays shogi. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see the main character not win that much, to be honest, even though he's like a prodigy or whatever. But yeah, I think it makes for a very genuine read, to be honest, and I actually really liked it. So yeah, excited to eventually get the 4th volume. Up next, Undead Unluck, Volume 2 from Yoshifumi Tezuka. Thank you so much to Crystal Neko for suggesting this series. It's actually really good. This 2nd volume proved to me that the 1st volume was a fluke, and I say fluke because I think like the rough things have already been kind of ironed out by the 2nd volume, which is really surprising because like I think the 1st volume, like I said, was good, but had its rough moments. But I think Volume 2 really sticks the landing and really just rolls with it. There's a really fun like moment with all the characters. The zombie thing, or whatever you want to call it, is really creepy, and just like this, I don't know, it's very touching. The action's great, and I can't wait to read the next volume. Up next, it's Under Ninja Volume 4 from Kengo Hanazawa, and yep, this was continues to be a very strange read. Talking motorcycles and whatever random other stuff is happening. It's a strange series, but I have a good time with it, and definitely interested to read the next one. And we also have Shy Volume 8 from Bukimi Miki. This is this is such a fun superhero manga, and I have been having a great time with it. I think the action's really good. I think the characters are a lot of fun. The art is very, very good, and yeah, it kind of finishes off the arc, so excited to see how this next arc is going to start, because it looks like we're kind of reaching the end of the current, like, whatever you want to call it, the black orb, the black cover arc. I don't know what they call it, but yeah, it's been a pretty fun read. And the last thing that I the last thing I read in January of 2025 is actually quite a few volumes, but I managed just to read volumes 1 through 7 of Doro Heidoro, and wow, this is from Kyuha Yoshida, follows the story of a character named Kaiman, who's this guy here, who is basically this crocodile-looking dude, or a caiman-looking dude, and has this mysterious person inside his mouth, so he decides to bite people and see if they know who this person is, and then ends up just going on like a kind of like a murderous rampage in a way, and it's about him and his friend Nikaido, who's this girl here, and it's about their story together as they attempt to figure out Kaiman's true identity, and also kind of exploring this very strange, wacky, and extremely gory world known as the Hole and the Sorcerer's World. It's wild, it's ridiculous, it's action-packed, and I have a great time with it. It was weird, it was strange, and I cannot wait to continue reading it. It's such a fun fast read. The characters are really well done. There's a lot of interesting characters. The mysteries, while you always close one door, it opens like 4 other ones. So there's a lot of mysteries to be solved, and I can't wait to see how they're tackled, because they've already been kind of tackling them throughout each of the volumes. But up to this point, yeah, we've learned a lot, but we've also learned a lot of nothing as well. So yeah, excited to continue reading this. It's been a really, really great time. And that's going to be it for this reading log. Thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You make making videos so much fun. Yeah, what did you read in January of 2025? Let me know in the comments below. Have you read any of the series that I talked about in this video? Let me know in the comments below. Or what should I be reading next? Let me know in the comments below. And you know what you can do. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things. I love it when you do that. It means a hell of a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And we're inching ever closer to 4,500 subscribers. So exciting, very exciting stuff. And yeah, if you want to join my memberships, you can get these videos just a little bit earlier in comparison to everybody else. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!